In the summer of 2015, I had the opportunity to travel to Paris, France, and visit the Louvre. As a lover of art, I was so excited, but frankly, I was underwhelmed. I love the Musée d'Orsay, where many of Claude Monet's most famous paintings are housed, and his brilliant colors and vibrant brushstrokes inspired me. I have always loved art and have done art throughout my whole life, and am even pursuing a minor in art. But art shouldn't just be important to me. Art should be important to you too. You're influenced by art every day, and we interact with art on a daily basis. So today, we're going to define art, talk about how we're impacted by art, and finally, talk about how we interact and produce art. So to begin, we're going to define art. As defined by Oxford Dictionary, art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting or sculpting. However, 20th century artist Marcel Duchamp turned this definition upside down with his production of his piece named Fountain in 1917. Fountain was a urinal that he signed R. Mutt 1917. This was offensive to many people, and people thought this was making a mockery of art. However, this revolution he started has allowed for art today to be accepted in many mediums, such as graphic design, film and production, theater, and performance art. Now that we've defined art, we're going to talk about how it impacts our lives. We're impacted from art through viewing and producing art. Through producing art, artists have the opportunity to tell history from a new perspective. Jacob Lawrence tells of the migration of African Americans from the rural South to the industrialized North through his 1940 and 1941 art collection titled The Migration Series. Similarly, people are given a voice and a platform through art. A 2016 Huffington Post article titled What It Means to Make Art in the Time of Trump by Priscilla Frank and Catherine Brooks says, we call upon artists as activists, optimists, truth tellers, and revolutionaries. Artists have a platform that we, the general public, do not have, in which they can tell of the public's perspectives and give new perspectives on controversial topics. Furthermore, we're impacted through the viewing of art. Art brings out emotions in us. In Marina Abramovich's 2010 performance art piece titled The Artist is Present, Abramovich sat for 3 months and during all opening hours at the MoMA and sat in silence as people and patrons came through the museum and sat and just stared at her. That is it. And they were moved by this experience and this piece of art that she produced. Many left with crying or feeling like they've been moved in some way. Similarly, art spurs us to action just through viewing it. And the popular World War I posters, such as the Uncle Sam posters, America was convinced to join World War I, as cited by a 2014 article from the Smithsonian magazine by Jairu Cook, in an article titled The Posters That Sold World War I to the American Public. Similarly, we see the same effect with the Rosie of the River posters as women moved from the home into the workforce and took over many factories as men went overseas to fight in the war. So we see that art impacts our lives, but we also interact and create art on a daily basis. We interact with art and logos, such as Amazon logo. You might not know this, but the Amazon logo has an arrow that points from the A to the Z, creating a smile and saying that we make you smile from A to Z, encouraging people to use their services and bringing happiness through the use of Amazon. Similarly, we interact with photos every day with this high technology lifestyle that most of us live. We have smartphones that take pictures all the time, and photos can have a giant impact on people and tell a story a world away, such as the Tank Man photo taken in 1989 by Jeff Webner of a man standing in front of a line of tanks at the protest in Tiananmen Square. Similarly, we interact with art and create art every day through the creation of t-shirts or designing how our kids' bedrooms are going to look or setting up an office space. The way that we arrange objects in the space is governed by the laws of art, and we use those daily. So now that we've looked at how we create art, we see how it impacts our lives and why it's important to us. So today we've defined art, we've talked about how it impacts us through viewing it and producing it, and we've talked about how we interact and create art every day of our lives. So Yes, my trip to Paris was amazing and I loved the opportunity to see a historical art. However, here in America, I interact with art every day in a much more mundane way that has such an impact on my daily life. So next time you see a piece of art, I challenge you to ask, what is it saying? How is it impacting me? And what actions am I taking because of it? Thank you.